This shot is in almost every single Spielberg movie. So I want to find out if any of his most now iconic techniques are present in his earliest works. My name is Bernhard Pucher. Welcome to ShortCuts. So let's rewind the clock and go back to before E.T., Jaws, even his debut feature Duel. I want to go back to 1968 to the short film that would launch Steven Spielberg's career, the hippie western Amblin. Amblin follows a young man hitchhiking through the desert with only a guitar case, when he encounters a free-spirited hippie woman doing the same thing. Eager to impress her, he carries her bags, smokes a joint, spits olive pits, and eventually they make love under the stars. But he has a secret, and when she wants to know what's in the guitar case, he refuses to show her, keeping it a secret until the end of the film. Minor spoiler, it's not a guitar. And right off the bat, we see Steven Spielberg's directing style hard at work. He loves packing a lot of story and characters into very simple shots that direct the audience's attention, giving us everything that we need to know in a very, very short time span. In this case, a whip pan follows a car rushing past, only to reveal an outstretched thumb. The pan continues, but instead of revealing the character's face, we take in his outline, almost like a silhouette against the bright background. He finally turns to us, showing us his face for the first time, looking into the distance. Then he slings his guitar over his shoulder, and the camera jibs up as he walks alone down the road into the vast desert. The guitar case, of course, is what this whole film is all about. And Spielberg loves introducing characters this way. In fact, he does it in the very shot that is showed in the opening of this video. Let's take a look at Saving Private Ryan. We start with a hand, followed by a character-motivated camera move still obscuring the main character's face, until finally we get to see it. But that's not the end of the introduction. Slowly, the character moves into the distance, revealing the world that he finds himself in. In this case, the shaking hand is the guitar case. This is how effective Spielberg's directing style is. He gives us everything we need to know about the character and their situation, plus a little bit of a mystery that we can learn more about as the story goes. Then, of course, there's the famous Spielberg Oner. It's a long camera take, sometimes simple, sometimes complex, that explores the different power dynamics between the characters and is extremely effective at moving the story forward. But do we see that technique in Amblin? In fact, we do, just not quite as refined as we'd come to know from him. We follow both of our characters as they walk through an abandoned ranch. She's eager to connect with him, so she playfully pours cereal over his head, while the camera follows them through the maze of cattle fences. She giggles as she steals a sandwich from him and playfully shoves one into his mouth. The camera swirls around both of them, just like she is, while he remains stationary in the middle of the frame, unsure how to act. Spielberg then follows her as she sits down on the back of a truck. This is a good example of how Spielberg likes to set up a power dynamic between characters. However, what's missing from this Oner compared to the ones that he would master later is how the power dynamics evolve and how the characters change as the scene evolves and changes. But most importantly, even at this stage in his career, this is not the only thing in his bag of tricks. He really explores multiple cutting techniques, different kinds of shots, and shoots every scene differently depending on how the characters evolve as the story goes. And finally, I want to talk about one thing that Steven Spielberg loves that he does in this film too. Steven Spielberg loves hats. Loads and loads of hats. Why? Because they instantly make the character distinguishable from everybody else. They say a lot about them without having to explain anything, and nothing does it better than the most famous hat of all time. So, have you watched Amblin? And if so, what did you think of it? Plus, have you spotted anything that he did in Amblin that he would keep doing till later? Or is there anything that you saw that he maybe stopped doing that he never really did again? Let me know in the comments. And next up, I'll be talking about Christopher Nolan. Please like and subscribe, and also check out all the amazing short films we have right here on our channel on CenterFrame. Thank you for watching.